It's recording.
Yippee! Whose butt?
Okay, what?
Janet Jones.
Janet Jones.
Where's the microphone? The microphone? It's magic, really.
Jan, John,
Okay.
your butt?
What,
Yeah,
who
what
wants to
about it?
announce the book, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald?
It's 100-year anniversary.
So I have a question. So why did that person pick that book? I mean, it's a great book, but what
It's
prompted?
Janet Jones.
Yeah. So what prompted the Great Gatsby?
Pictures.
I'm not sure I knew it until I found a really long article about the book, and after I read it, I realized how relevant this book is right now, as far as
Oh.
the discrepancy, the upper class and the lower class, and the divide between the moneyed people and the not moneyed people. You have the garage mechanic and his wife, and you have Daisy and Tom and Gatsby, and you have this whole thing about, this article made a big deal about the American dream and about how Gatsby, achieved, he thought, the American dream. He came from nothing and became very wealthy. Tom was born with money. Daisy was born with money. Nick was, he wasn't moneyed like Tom and Daisy, but he came from a well-to-do family in the Midwest. And it was, the more I read it, the more despicable Tom and Daisy became in my eyes. They were just so careless.
Did you like anyone in the book?
I suppose Nick, although he was, not all that great.
It was kind of
Yeah.
voyeurish.
Yeah.
It's
So
hard.
the emotional disgust you had with the book, do you think that was that driven by your inculcation of what's going on around you right now?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the first time I read the book, it was just a good story. It was
Right.
about a guy who got murdered by the jealous husband of a woman who thought he was her lover, and that's all it was. But
Wait, the
Now.
guy gets murdered? I thought. Oh yeah.
Gatsby gets murdered.
Uh,
Yeah, by Tom, who thinks that Gatsby was the lover when it was actually Tom, and they're just so oblivious.
Right.
Yeah, just
Oblivious.
yeah.
Totally.
What did they say?
what
The-
did you like about
The wreckage
this
they
book?
leave behind them or something.
Pardon?
Somebody, that was, the phrase was the wreckage they leave behind them or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just skate off to whatever other country they're gonna go to next.
Did everybody like the book?
I like
Yeah.
it. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Did anybody not like it?
I
Jan,
did
I was
not like his writing. I did not like this book. I didn't like it. I kept thinking, why isn't he? These sentences
You're
weren't
right.
even. No, I didn't like it. I didn't like anybody in
Thank
the
you,
book.
Bill.
What were you gonna say?
You are
Robert?
right.
I was just connected to what you said. I read the article after Robert Redford passed, and he makes this great statement. I gave up a long time ago the idea that a film can change people's lives, let alone their politics. I discovered we Americans enjoyed the distraction of entertainment, but aren't really interested in the deeper message. So that's what reminded me when you said it when we were younger, we read it, and then it's like, wow, there were some deeper messages in this, and yeah, it certainly did well.
And he wrote it in
And
the
the
20s
disregard.
when that gap was also so wide between those who had money and those who did not.
Yeah. And the disregard. I
Yes.
think that's the whole sense of
Yeah.
entitlement. I enjoyed the writing, the depth of the writing.
Yeah.
I had to think and stay engaged and things compared to some of the writing books.
Yeah,
So,
and you know, we've read some James Joyce, and we read a story, The Dead. Supposedly, one of the paragraphs in that book is one of the most beautiful paragraphs ever written, but there was a paragraph, and I'm
In
not
James
even sure I-
Joyce or in this?
from James Joyce, and there was a paragraph in this book that I thought rivaled the paragraph.
Can you read it?
I would have to find it. I'm not sure.
But
I
his
enjoyed
his
writing.
prose is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It just seems like the sentences just flow
Yeah,
together. I
and
mean,
it's like you said, he doesn't use big words,
He doesn't.
or, you know, he doesn't try to intellectualize everything. He just, it just kind of flows.
It's kind of clear what's going on
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, if you couldn't follow this story. So do you think that's why they had it, like all the high school kids over the years they always
You know,
had it?
I don't know why they have high school kids read anything sometimes.
It's
I mean,
planting a seed.
they
it's
just
short.
don't get it. You know?
It's short.
They should be learning physics and math. They should not be reading F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Just a waste of
In
time.
my opinion, I think it's a waste of time. Learn math and physics
Yeah.
and history.
Oh, no,
Learn real history.
I mean, there are things they should be reading, but I'm not sure F. Scott Fitzgerald is. And when I was in high school, we read Great Expectations, and it was just like, wow, I'm sorry, the
Read
language
history.
is antiquated, and you don't want to read
Even
it.
our last book about Montezuma and Cortez, that would be a better book for kids to be reading than about Long Island or,
I thought it was interesting that I was trying to read reviews, and they were talking about how when a book came out, it was really panned. And the critics didn't like it at all. And even now today, they still say that his characters are undeveloped, and there's a thinness to the writing that I mean doesn't. I mean, they would argue doesn't really support the legacy value of, you know, what a beautiful American book. But I don't get that, and to me it just seems like to me it's like a time and a place, and the people were shallow, and so if the writing doesn't delve into, like, I don't know, it doesn't go deep in character development, it's because the characters aren't deep.
And another thing that I can't take credit for noticing this, because in this article I wrote, is that Nick is telling the story, and he doesn't know anything about Gatsby. He doesn't know anything about Tom. He knows Daisy a little bit, because, and Myrtle, and what was her husband's name? See, that's,
The gas station guy?
yeah. What was his name? Does anybody know? See, that's terrible. And we're
he was an insignificant.
The
yeah,
killer.
yeah, he
No,
was,
he was a killer.
Because he was
Nothing.
poor.
and
Well, he was a killer because.
and how reliable is really Nick about all of this? It's another thing this article said was he's telling this story 2 years after it happened, and how accurate is his memory about
Oh yeah.
Daisy's motivations and Gatsby's reactions to her,
And was he a drinker? Did he drink a lot?
Nick?
No,
Nick.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he
He
drank.
went to the party.
No.
I don't
Like the
think
rest
Gatsby drank. Tom drank.
no, I don't think Gatsby drank a lot either.
Tom drank. And Daisy drank.
When I read the book, I kept mixing
I
up
mean,
my
that's something you don't
my movies. I pictured Gatsby as Robert Redford, but Nick as Tobey Maguire. And they're
Yes.
two different movies.
Yeah, I did too. I pictured Nick as Tobey Maguire.
And what, it was Sam Waterston in
Is that who it was? Sam Waterston played
in
Nick?
the,
What?
A
in
young
Robert,
Sam
in
Waterston.
Robert Redford.
He didn't. He's
Tobey
kind
Maguire
of
was
a weird
it-
role for him.
I think so
You
too.
know.
Because Sam Waterston usually plays somebody who's a little deeper than
Yeah.
Nick was, I think. Nick is not a very deep guy.
But he was deeper than everyone else.
You know, I guess when I looked at it, it's Nick was the perfect person because somehow he was connected to everything, but in the most, he knew nothing. And so he just comes in and he's seeing it like any one of us might see it. You know, like you don't know and you're trying to figure out who are these people.
So you think he was being objective?
I think he was I think he was to represent the person who walks in on this situation and knows nothing and is trying to figure out, just like any one of us would walk in and go, like, who's that? Who's this? How are they connected? What are they doing? You know, all those different things. And so I think he was the right person just because.
So given that though,
But he
do you think his view was
Perspective.
accurate? Or do you think that it was kind of,
You know, I think he walked into the skewed view of Daisy because she was his cousin, like Daisy, oh Daisy, like Daisy, woo! But then he really kind of saw her for who she was. And in the end, I was pissed at him because I thought, why didn't you tell anybody he really killed him? But I guess he just figured, well, at this point, it's his cousin, and what good is it going to do? But you should have told.
yeah,
The person in me that thinks you should do the right thing
yeah.
says he should
It
have
was
told.
not in this book.
No, I mean, he should have told somebody that Gatsby didn't do it, and, I mean, that, the guy that killed Gatsby didn't do it, and that it was, you know, and what happened with the woman,
Well, you
the
should-
lover, he should have said Daisy's the one that hit the lover, not Gatsby.
Yeah.
You know, he never revealed, he just walked away from all that and never revealed.
Well, who were the witnesses of the actual act?
Of the
Who
accident.
were the
There was
eyewitnesses?
the black guy who's mentioned once, and
Right.
they never
But
mentioned
Nick
again.
didn't see his
Never.
face.
Nick didn't see it happen.
So he couldn't have said, he couldn't have,
All he could, but you could tell by the way Gatsby reacted.
Gatsby and Daisy were the only ones
So do
in
you
the car.
think that Gatsby really
So
was
it must
driving
have
the car?
fallen asleep.
No.
I think Daisy
No,
was
but there were
driving.
no
But I love the
witnesses
outfits.
to
Yeah, I love movies.
bring the real killer.
Because of the outfits, and I'm
But
really.
didn't Gatsby tell
Tennessee
him?
Hamilton.
Then he let Daisy drive the car?
Well, he backed into it. He basically was like.
Still, there's no proof. I mean, Gatsby might have made some sort of statement, and I don't know what the laws were like back
Yeah,
then, but
that's
there was
true.
no witnesses. And I think Nick at one point said, well, if Gatsby wants to take this upon himself, he's saving Daisy. If he wants, his
Which
love is
is what he
saving
was
Daisy.
doing.
Yeah.
As Daisy is.
He didn't know that he was going to be
So
killed.
actually, I like
Daisy-
Gatsby best of all.
As Daisy's
He
being
did
is
save
ditching him
Daisy.
with, you know, her
He
previous
was
husband.
charming. Gatsby was charming.
He was charming.
I like Gatsby. I think probably my favorite movie
I would
was
almost
Gatsby.
go with you on that one.
Yeah.
So what if he's?
He honestly made, I mean, he did bootlegging, but a lot of people were doing
Well, he had a side to him that was not revealed that even Nick didn't know, that was even shadier than bootlegging.
Well, I think there was. Well, there's
How
some.
did
What
you
was
know?
that?
He was in some with some criminals. I mean, he was clearly
Yeah,
in with
the
some guys.
Jewish guy,
Yeah,
white.
yes.
who
Oh,
stepped
yeah.
away and wouldn't come up. like
Yeah,
the
and it was so
funeral.
dirty that we're not even going to.
So what do you think it is?
I don't know.
Do you think he knew Epstein?
Yeah, his name's probably in there.
No, there's.
They were
so
Jewish.
many.
They were Jewish.
In the book, Nick in the does he start off in the insane asylum or is that the movie?
Nick in the
Insane asylum?
In the movie, he starts off in
What
a
book
sick-
did you read?
in the movie.
Oh, you
He's
said
in
movie.
Which
in the movie. He starts off in a insane. This whole thing
Which
is
movie? All of them?
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio one, for
Yeah, we
sure.
didn't see that one, and that was not part of the book.
Uh,
So I think they're like I don't know why they parlayed it into that.
That's interesting because
But
Nick
they-
to me wasn't crazy.
But they wanted to show the stress. I mean, he's a narrator too, right? He's-
So
Or the stress of
so
the
how-
murder?
Why are we supposed to even believe anything this person says?
Wait, are you saying that
Not
Nick is
everybody
in
in
the
the
insane
insane
asylum
asylum
after all this
is
has happened?
unbelievable.
yeah, he's reflecting on it. The opening scene. He's in an insane asylum,
Afterwards.
and he's reflecting on it.
Could
Somebody's
we
come
say it
to
a
somebody's.
mental hospital instead of an insane
Well,
asylum?
back then, it's not-
Insane asylum, just bad
but
connotation.
it probably was what that was called back in the day.
But he could have been in the mental depression ward. I mean, insane asylum and depression ward are two different.
Okay, so if he was there, honestly, I would have liked him better, because I would think, well, eventually maybe you're gonna get someone else. Because you were holding all this entire story.
The book didn't go in.
No, the book did not, we did not go.
It's
Did you read the book?
unneeded,
Yeah,
unneeded
he did.
detail.
It's been a while.
Went really too fast evidently because I missed the middle bit.
Okay, the way they frame it,
It was toward the end.
the way they frame it in the movie is that Nick is a World War I veteran undergoing treatment. So it could be war related.
Bill, you're right.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't say.
Bill,
And so he has time to reflect upon this experience
Oh, in the book?
in the movie.
In the movie.
Movie? Why did they do that in the book? And which movie? We have two movies.
Toby
Well,
McGuire. Toby McGuire.
Okay.
We watched
See,
it.
I like
Did
them.
you watch either of those?
See, I'm not crazy.
But I just didn't know. if-
You're not insane.
No, no, we didn't.
Stay right there.
This is the first I put on, he was in.
Oh, well, yeah, he was,
But I
yeah.
mean, you're perfectly normal.
You know,
I thought reading the book.
He's hanging out with these rich people.
There's a lot.
How does Nick start off in this, in the book? Nick is he comes to town with a girlfriend.
No big deal.
No, he comes to study, he's studying economics. He buys all the books and he's gonna go out on the island and read for the summer.
Finance.
He's going to connect with his cousin
Finance,
Daisy.
because he's going to be a
Finance.
stockbroker,
Bond trader.
bond trader.
So that was his reason for going to the island.
And
Well-
he just by chance ends up next door to Gatsby.
What?
Yes.
Because it's cheap.
He's
Because
got
it's
the-
like, it's like 80, 60 bucks a month or something.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and he can just move right in, and yes, and then it all unfolds.
No,
Yeah.
it's just bond
And
trading.
his front porch looks
Yes,
out on
I
Gatsby
don't
Show.
think Nick was
I
about
don't remember that.
It's not.
No, but he did,
No, on
in the
that-
end, he didn't do
On
well.
Gatsby.
No, he should have
they're on
spoken
different
up.
He should have
No.
spoken up. So
East Egg and West Egg,
And
right?
that's why he's in the.
East Egg.
But Nick lives right next to Gatsby.
If you would look,
In the book.
yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
Daisy's the one who lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Daisy
right,
lives
right.
across the water,
Right.
they had one
On East
blue
Egg.
light.
And I can't remember which is which.
Well, if you
Daisy's
remember,
on East Egg.
what
West,
Nick knew.
West Egg is the old money, East Egg is the new money.
Yeah.
He knew Daisy because she
Nick
was his
is on
cousin.
East Egg.
Yeah.
But Nick knew the
Easter egg.
Tom Buchanan somehow, right?
No, he knew Daisy. 'Cause
He
she
knew
was his cousin.
Daisy because she was his cousin. That's
And when
right. I forgot,
when I
yeah.
started hating Daisy, was when her little girl came into the room.
Same. And I was like, well, actually, I hated her before. I didn't hate her, but I was like, I don't want to
I
like her.
started not, I really, that was like, no, Daisy,
She was
you're
a
out.
totally
She
disconnected
was
moment.
totally just like, isn't she cute? She
So
sounds
Mia
like.
Farrow. I thought Mia Farrow was
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, she was a space cadet.
Was she in the Robert Redford one?
She was.
Oh, I bet she was.
She was
good.
Daisy.
I saw that a long time ago, but I don't.
Very young Mia Farrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not as young as 18-year-old Daisy
She was 18 in the book.
when she met
When she met
Gatsby.
Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, when she met Gatsby.
And then 5 years
17
later.
actually, I think, when she met Gatsby.
Okay.
17.
And then 5 years later, she's yeah.
What about the eyes of Doctor whatever his name is?
Prufrock? No,
Who are we talking about?
the billboard.
Billboard.
The billboard, for the optometrist, the eyes of Doctor.
What was his name?
What was the
It
significance
was
of
like
that?
the googly eyes or something. Huh?
Dr. Googly Eye.
Googly eyes was that? Was that really googly?
No. What was it?
What was the eyes of Doctor?
Ecclesburg's.
Ecclesburg.
Ecclesburg.
Oh, there she is.
Another Jewish guy.
Ooh.
I don't
What
think
the
Fitzgerald.
heck?
I don't think Fitzgerald liked you.
What the heck?
No.
Yeah, no, there was anti-Semitism.
Was that Scott Fitzgerald Jewish?
Oh, heavens.
Fitzgerald sounds Scottish.
Yeah, yeah.
Scottish.
His parents came over, and I forget what business they started up, but he became wealthy, but he became wealthy with his own money. Buchanan was wealthy, like Trump, with inherited money,
Yeah.
the old money. Yeah. So there's a difference between the two families a little bit.
Who's Buchanan?
Tom Buchanan.
Oh, no, but F. Scott Fitzgerald himself.
No, his family was that way. Yeah, they had new money.
Immigrants.
But his dad, a shoe business or a factory or something, and he made lots of money in Minnesota. That's where F. Scott grew
I'll
up.
cover her thing here so she'll see. I
So
still
here
have my
comes-
I thought
book
interesting.
and my play.
Fitzgerald was in World War One.
And I've got those discs.
Yeah.
And
He
that's probably
enlisted.
why
He
the
enlisted
characters.
in
We
World War
might need a
One,
knife or two.
which I thought was kind of
Parts out.
interesting.
Sure, sure.
And I don't know how that developed into the story, but
I think it was a POW too, wasn't he? POW.
Well, both,
maybe. Yep.
both Gatsby and the other guy were both in World War One.
Right.
So that's how it played. That's how F. Scott Fitzgerald got that into the story. They say that both him and Hemingway were in Kansas City at the same
Sorry,
time.
sweetie.
Oh, really?
Fitzgerald was in Kansas City.
He came through Kansas City. This is what the Casey magazine, the
Oh, you're
article
right.
in Casey
Yeah,
magazine.
right down.
But then they
But
never
what
met.
was in the back?
But they were the same age, the same era, coming through Kansas City at the same time.
And the symbolism of the green light. What about it?
Well, the green is money, but it's also far, far away, sometimes foggy, sometimes you can barely see it, sometimes it sparkles. The American Dream.
Like Daisy?
The American Dream, which Daisy was a part of for Scott, for Gatsby.
For
Yeah.
Gatsby, yeah.
So that was the American, the central theme of the book supposedly was, coming up out of nowhere and become rich, but in a corrupt capitalistic system, how do you do that? You don't unless you become a bootlegger.
Well, his dad, remember when his dad shows up at the house after he's died, and in his dad's mind, his son was like a hero, and like he made it. He made himself something out of clearly nothing. So I guess maybe that's a good thing. Dad thinks that as his son is gone,
So you look.
his dad believed that Gatsby had, achieved the American dream out of nothing.
But you look at the other character like George Wilson and Myrtle,
Yeah.
who really wants to ascribe
Right.
to the American dream. He's got a garage, a car garage. He's got offers to buy vehicles where he may make extra money from
Right.
this rich guy.
Okay.
And look where America, capitalism, and Fitzgerald leaves him.
Yeah. Horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
Wow.
That's what you
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting when his
Is
dad
it?
showed up.
Isn't it impressive?
So what is each?
This here is a strawberry panna cotta, and that's a shortbread cookie with it, chantilly cream.
That's a strawberry?
No, that was,
That's the story.
this is the
This
pistachio,
is a
isn't it?
pandan
Oh, yeah.
cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna be kind of vanilla and nutty, and then we have a pistachio crust. That was very good. Bread pudding, cherry and almond streusel in the middle, and then this is our chocolate peanut butter bomb. That one's my favorite. that orange coulis on the bottom. It's got a little bit of orange flavor.
Wow.
We may have to
Spread it
taste
around.
something and get more. maybe.
And then there's some serving stuff down
We've
here.
got some knives and stuff that we've passed around, we can cut stuff off.
What time you got, Jason? 20 minutes.
Yep.
You want to kick it around more? Or we? Or do you want to?
Did we figure it out yet?
So what's the direct reflection of today? I mean, are there, when you were reading the book, did you mentally insert,
Yes. Yes.
named characters from,
Real life.
yeah, from the last 2 years into this?
Contemporary life?
Well, George Wilson, in my mind, is every one of our children. They
Is
want
that his
them.
name, George?
Yeah.
And why do you say that?
Well, he ascribes to the American dream. Our kids want to be successful, modestly or otherwise, but they, who has bought a house on their own? Of our children.
Yep.
And we're decently well off.
Gordon.
But it's his business, sort of. I mean, so.
Yeah, that disparity, yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he did, yeah.
But
Every
here-
one of our children, is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Well, I'm just, generalizing, but.
I think actually our kids have done very well compared to most American kids.
But for me, that's the disparity. I mean,
I
what
would
is
say
the
upper
So,
middle class
more than
for
I-
our kids.
Here, I'm passing this
But
way.
in terms of buying a house, just that alone, who in that age group can afford to without help, without help.
Jesse, I mean, not Jesse.
should
Holly.
just serve ourselves.
Holly and Tom didn't buy a house without help.
I think they did help. I did.
We are in the
But it wasn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
well, not directly in other ways that,
Okay.
and position them to,
Yeah.
but they are very professional class. They're not
Yeah,
like
they're-
George Wilson,
Yeah.
Piling up, John.
So they're not quite the gas station.
Oh, heavens no.
And we're talking, that's
Holly's not
not
murdered.
any of our children. Because our children were all educated,
yes.
I've got the
right?
knife.
Yeah,
So that's a big difference.
that cookie's good.
And our,
Oh my
and our
gosh.
kids don't have
That-
spouses that are messing around.
Yeah,
They don't have
That.
yeah, this
What
Spouses that are messing around on them.
That was the one I think I wanted to put the bread pudding.
Oh, so good.
Somebody likes
What's the
the
green?
strawberry.
Cheesecake.
I think so.
Some kind of cheesecake.
I'll try to
I think it might be
How many
pistachio or
people had this?
something.
You had this show?
Okay.
Not actually strawberry.
Yeah,
Well,
Piece of it.
it seemed like
You can
Everybody
have
on the side had
it's really good.
You can have this.
I don't need much dessert.
Mm-mm.
It tastes
so,
Oh, stab ya.
all right. I think
Stabbing you with
I
the
think
stuff.
everybody's pretty
Oh, this peanut butter thing.
Everybody's pretty happy.
focused on that. Okay, good book, Jan.
Yay. Good choice.
Did you get some out of that? Good. Okay.
But I can say, I'd much rather go back to Sweden and read some of those Swedish books.
And what are you comparing this to?